Let me start this video off by saying I really did like Obsession. Like when I first saw it at my early screening, I knew that we were in for something special. I knew that when this movie was released to the general audience that this was going to be well received and everybody was going to rock with it. And when the movie officially released, that's exactly what happened. However, it took a whole new life of its own, and I don't think anybody would have expected this movie to turn out as big as it did. I mean, a $750,000 budget, a fairly unknown cast, and ended up being one of the highest grossing, not just horror movies, but movies in general. That is damn impressive, and this movie will go down in history. With all of that being said, bro, I have come to the unfortunate conclusion that Obsession was a mistake. And no, I'm not talking about Obsession, the movie itself, because again, I loved it. I'm talking about the fandom that this movie has created, because somehow we went from discussing a horror movie about a socially awkward dude, entitlement, social anxiety, rejection, and toxic friendships and toxic relationships. Somehow that got turned into people online deciding that this movie is an allegory for sexual assault, and that's it. And if you don't agree with that interpretation of the movie, then apparently you didn't understand it, quote unquote. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie can 100% be used as an allegory for sexual assault, because that's literally what happened. Now, whether you think Bear intentionally did those things or not, hey, that's on you. I'm not here to tell you what actually happened in the movie. I'm not Curry Barker. I didn't direct the shit. But if that's the only message that you're taking from this movie, and if that is the only thing that you think this movie is about, then I'm sorry, that's where y'all lost me, bro. Because there is a huge difference between analyzing a film and having your own interpretation of the film and completely rewriting the context of the film just so you can feel morally superior to people who don't agree with you. And the discourse around Obsession has become pretentious, performative, and honestly exhausting as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, I'm tired. And after this whole Halloween Horror Nights fiasco, oh my gosh, y'all have taken this to depths that I didn't even think was humanly possible. Congratulations. You somehow have proven that you can be more insufferable than what I already thought you could be. Thankfully, there are so many people on the internet who are also tired of the fake morality police thing that's been going on social media nowadays, and I'm so grateful that I'm not alone in this fight. And to be honest, the more I'm on social media and the more that my content creator career grows, I'm starting to realize maybe I'm just a grumpy old millennial and I just don't get the new social climate. Maybe I'm the one that's out of touch, you know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all are right and I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm starting to lose my mind. So today we need to talk about how a really good horror movie somehow created one of the most insufferable conversations I've seen online in a long time, because Obsession itself wasn't the mistake. Allowing some of y'all to watch Obsession is where they went wrong. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Stoney the Great, aka Mr. Spooky Poppy, your friendly neighborhood horror guy. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you are a return viewer, welcome back, gang. If you can't tell by now, I'm pretty tired, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. I haven't made a long form video in over a week, and that's not like me. I haven't taken that long of a break in months, but I've been going really hard with content lately, and I have burnt myself out. I literally look at this camera and I cringe because I just don't want to do it right now, but I got a job to do. This is what I signed up for. I must deliver. But yeah, by the way, peep the hat, you know what I'm saying? I got like a little merch thing going on that I'm working on, so if y'all want the great hats, let me know, and I'll start working on that merch, because it's something that I've been testing out a little bit lately. Before I get too deep into this, let me just put this disclaimer out there. Thankfully, YouTube's community is a lot better and a lot more mature than other platforms that I won't be mentioning, but just in case one of them decides to float their dumbass over here, let me go ahead and put this out there right now. Yes, I do think Bear was the villain of the movie, okay? I'm gonna repeat that. Yes, I do think that Bear was the bad guy. Do I think that he intentionally wanted Nikki to be a freaking possessed murderous psychopath? No, I don't think that. And no, I also don't think that he thought the wish was gonna work. I don't think anybody did. It's a freaking $6 trinket from a gift shop. Anybody with common sense can look at that movie and see that when he made that wish, he didn't even think it was gonna work. He was just frustrated with himself because he couldn't express to this girl that he liked her, and he just said, oh, I wish she loved me more than anybody else, and he broke. He didn't think this girl was gonna turn out like that. People are treating this movie as if Bear went into that gift shop knowing that if he bought this trinket, she was gonna turn into a maniac. That's not what happened, bro. And I'm so sorry to Curry Barker, because you really wasted your time making this good of a movie, because everybody who enjoys it the most are the dumbest people in the freaking world, bro. Shout out to my normal Obsession fans, the ones who can see the movie, understand the nuance, can pick apart the symbolism, and can understand the allegories, but don't reduce the movie down to just one surface level thing. Because I'm letting you know this right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you spam commenting the words Bear was the villain, by the way, does not make you the smartest person in the room. I don't know who needs to hear this, but that does not make you Einstein. But the main reason why I wanted to make this video today was mainly because of the Halloween Horror Nights little fiasco that's been going on. So recently, Universal Studios announced that at Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, not in Florida, Nikki from Obsession will be a like roaming character at the park. Very similar to how like Art the Clown was last year. Even though Art the Clown also had a house, he was a roaming character at both parks. And immediately once this news went out, bro, people lost their mind. Every single PC culture buzzword you can think of started flying out of everybody's mouth. And again, I don't make content just so everybody can agree with me. I made plenty of videos with hot takes and unpopular opinions. I just recently made a video praising X-Men Apocalypse. Yes, X-Men Apocalypse. I just made a video before that one where I gave my top 5 most overhated Marvel movies, and I said that Eternals was extremely overhated and that I actually like that movie. I don't want everybody to agree with me all the time. That's not why I do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that arrogant to want everybody to reflect my opinion. That's the problem with social media. Everybody wants to have this hive mind mentality and that we all have to be on the same wavelength about everything. That's not how it works, bro. A difference in opinions is how we move forward as a society. Point blank period. So while I am grateful and very happy that majority of the people who commented on my Nikki Halloween Horror Nights video were in support and were on the same wavelength as me, thank you for that. But if you agreed, I would have still respected your opinion regardless. When this news came out, people started losing it, bro, saying how it was insensitive and that she's a rape victim and that she shouldn't be paraded around the park and how that decision can be insensitive to real life sexual assault victims. And I'm just really confused because I'm like, is Obsession the first goddamn horror movie y'all have ever seen? There's no way that y'all are horror fans. There's a difference here, ladies and gentlemen. We are dealing with Obsession fans, not horror fans, because a horror fan would understand that this is just the genre. This is just what it is. We have enough understanding of the medium to know that Nikki and possessed Nikki are two different people. Nikki is the victim. Possessed Nikki is the villain. So is Bear, but he's also the victim as well. You get how that makes sense to us, but maybe not to an Obsession fan? Because while everything that happened that went wrong in the movie is Bear's fault, that technically makes him a villain. However, he was the one that was suffering the most alongside the real Nikki. Nuance, ladies and gentlemen, word of the day. And when I made my short form video about that, I brought up some pretty valid points, I felt like, when I was comparing other horror movies and the victims from those films, like how I brought up The Exorcist, for example. If having Nikki at Halloween Horror Nights is insensitive to sexual assault victims, then can't you say the same thing about The Exorcist? You know, that movie was also featured at Halloween Horror Nights, and last time I checked, The Exorcist was about a little girl named Reagan, 12 years old, who was possessed by a demon. Her autonomy was taken away from her, just like Nikki's was, and this 12-year-old girl was forced to masturbate with a crucifix. You know, like, we saw it on screen. A 12-year-old girl masturbating with a crucifix on screen, and then on top of that was blurting out the most egregious sexual obscenities at an adult pastor. An adult male pastor had a little 12-year-old possessed girl screaming crazy sexual things at him after she just fondled herself with a crucifix, and we watched the whole thing on screen. And now 50 years later, Reagan from The Exorcist is considered one of the most iconic horror villains of all time, and nobody had a problem with her at Halloween Horror Nights. Nobody had a problem with that movie. Nobody has a problem with that at all. But Obsession is where you draw the line. That's weird to me personally. Let's also talk about the fact that at Halloween Horror Nights last year there was Five Nights at Freddy's. What is Five Nights at Freddy's about? Guy who murdered a bunch of children and stuffed their dead rotting corpses inside of animatronics, and those animatronics then became possessed and started killing other people, and everybody celebrated when the Five Nights at Freddy's house was announced. If you are placing your real life moral superiority complex on Obsession, then why didn't you do the same thing with Five Nights at Freddy's? Because aren't there missing and dead children in real life? Have you ever heard of the Atlanta child murders that occurred in the city of Atlanta back in 1982 when over 30 black children were found dead and missing in the city of Atlanta? How do you know that Five Nights at Freddy's isn't insensitive to the victims of those families? What about all the recent, school that's been going on? You don't think that maybe praising a franchise about murdered children coming back to kill people might be a little insensitive to them too? You see how nobody even thought of that? Because it doesn't make sense, because it's fiction. These are movies. This isn't real life, dude. Jason also featured at Halloween Horror Nights. You know, the movie that's about a deformed kid who was bullied and then killed by the other camp kids, pushing him in the water and he drowned. That's very insensitive. Jason is a victim, but he's also one of the most iconic horror villains of all time, and nobody had a problem with that at Halloween Horror Nights. And what's so so crazy is we normal people who make content brought this up in our videos and people in the comments completely missed it. I even had a creator who completely stitched and cropped my video to all be damned and tried to make me seem like I was a terrible person, and had people all in his comment sections calling me a rape defender and a rape apologist. Somebody even insinuated that I may potentially be a rapist myself. I had people in my DMs today threatening to kill me. I had people telling me to kill myself. I had people calling me a dumbass and how they were unfollowing me and all kinds of shit. What I'm saying is people's parasocial relationship to the film Obsession is unhealthy. You have an unhealthy obsession with obsession. And I really hate to break it to the people who think that all this movie is about is rape. That's not what this movie is about, bro. It's just not. It's really not. And I know probably makes your ears bleed to hear that, but it's not, bro. Because Curry Barker, the director of this film, said himself verbatim that Obsession is about modern dating culture, extreme codependency, and the selfishness of personal desires. He wanted to show how far a lack of communication can push a situation, treating the supernatural elements as a grounded, tragic story rather than a standard demonic possession. That's something that he said himself, word for word, by the way. Where in the fudgesicles in that description did he say, yeah, this movie is about rape? Is sexual assault a part of his overall plot? 100%. Nobody with a brain is denying that. However, you people are completely ignoring everything else. You are basically telling the filmmaker what his movie is about. That is insane. You are not that smart just because you blurt out the words, Bear's a rapist. We fucking know that, dude. God damn. And the crazy part about all of this, bro, is that nobody is saying anything to the people who have been selling the One Wish Willow replicas on TikTok Shop. Nobody has said anything to the girls who have already started to cosplay as Nikki from Obsession, bro. Nobody's saying anything to them, but for some strange reason, Halloween Horror Nights is where y'all lost y'all freaking minds at. The conversation about this movie is just disingenuous, bro. It's not genuine. It's not real. I really think this whole discourse was started by bots, and we as humans just fell into the shit because there's no way these are real people. Unfortunately, it is real people. And the biggest cherry on top with this whole Obsession thing, bro, is the fact that Indy Never Ready, the girl who played Obsession, said herself in an interview, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. Yo, DJ, put that clip in. Let the people hear it for themselves.
I wish that we could have a haunted house at, Universal Studios during Halloween.
Yep, me too.
Crack.
In that video, Michael Johnston and Indy Never Ready both were in an interview, and they also said this.
Would you guys make a special appearance at said event?
Yes,
To kind of, for one night only, you could see the real Bear and the real Nikki.
Oh, absolutely. And then I would also show up unprovoked.
Oh, there you go.
I would go every single day.
So let me get this straight. The actress who played Nikki, the girl who was supposedly the world's most tragic sexual assault victim of all time, and Bear, the most evil man in the world, them two actually said that they would be planning to show up together, like a movie couple or something like that. You know, the guy who's an abuser and the girl who was abused are planning to show up together. Do y'all know how crazy y'all sound? Watching these two people who played in this movie just laugh and giggle and not even take it serious. Meanwhile, y'all are on the internet starting entire battles and wars and threatening people's lives over this movie. That's not good. Like, how far down the hellhole as a society have we fallen? This is actually terrifying, bro. Like, these people are rolling in cash, bro. Curry Barker profited hella off this movie. Indy Never Ready, her whole career has boosted off of this movie. She's living lavishly right now. And you miserable motherfuckers are in people's comment sections with anime avies, not even showing your real face, by the way, harassing people in their comment sections over this fictional movie. That is mental illness. Get off the internet and touch grass. It's a damn shame when a person who literally has to be on the internet to make a living is telling you to get off the internet. And it's my job to be here, and I don't even want to be here sometimes. And it's really offensive as a father, as a husband, to have people attack you in your comment section, calling you a rape apologist and insinuating that you may have assaulted a woman in your life and saying that you don't care about sexual abuse victims. Y'all don't know me, bro. Y'all don't know what I've been through in my life. You don't know what happened to me when I was a kid, because I am a survivor. I just don't make it my whole fucking personality. You know what I'm saying? I did the work to move on from it, and I grew from it, but it's still a part of my past that I wish I could erase. I have a wife and 2 daughters, bro. Do you think I'm okay with sexual assault? Are you fucking crazy? My little girls, I would go to jail if somebody touched them, bro. I don't condone that. I don't support that. I don't think that's okay. I think anybody who touches a woman or a little girl or a little boy or a person in general in any any kind of unwanted or inappropriate way, fuck jail, you need to go to hell. Point blank period. I don't play that. So don't disrespect me in my comment section and insinuate that. That is disgusting. It's a shame when a movie that you really enjoy becomes the bane of your existence. Not because the movie is trash, but because the fans that it created are god awful and insufferable. The discourse around this film is ridiculous, and I cannot believe that we are literally just 2 days away from it being 90 days. 90 days, bro. This movie came out on May 15th of this year. It's not even August 15th yet. It might be August 15th when you see this video, but at the time of this recording, it is August 13th, bro. Meaning we are still only 88 days into this movie being a thing, and it has already become the most annoying thing to come out this year. So annoying to the point where I unfortunately have removed it from my top 5. I don't care to see this movie ever again. I'm sorry. I can't even watch this movie again without thinking about these freaking idiots on social media, bro. I am tired. I have built a platform on being a genuine, honest, caring, fair person, and I don't appreciate my points being taken out of context and being made to be a terrible person. I don't think any other creator should have to go through that, especially over a fictional film, especially over a topic that honestly can be applied to majority of horror movies. You have to understand that in the horror genre, you have to have tough skin and you have to understand nuance, because the horror genre is a genre that is literally built on pushing every single moral boundary known to man. That's what the entire horror genre is about. Women get killed, animals get killed, kids get killed, women get assaulted, men get assaulted. Everybody gets the worst of the worst in this genre, and it is very important to understand nuance and have a high sense of media literacy, because if you do not, then you will misinterpret every single movie that you see. Unfortunately, the Obsession fandom is the most god-awful fandom that I have ever ran into in my life, and I didn't think that I would find a horror movie fandom this pretentious ever again. Y'all make people who glaze Hereditary and The Shining look like edgelords. That's how bad y'all are, and I can't do it. So yeah, unfortunately, I feel like Obsession was a mistake because y'all wasn't ready for it, bro. There hasn't been a genuine conversation about this movie since it came out. I feel like it's at an unredeemable point, bro, and it's really sad. We live in a very overly sensitive society that is sensitive about stuff that don't even make sense, and it's annoying. And I hope people agree. I hope I'm not alone here. If I am alone, consider this my last YouTube video. And my last statement before I shut this thing off: make sure that you have this energy for real life sexual assault victims. Make sure you go do some charity work for real survivors. Make sure you go donate to a real cause, because you being behind your phone keyboard don't make you Martin Luther King. It makes you a dumbass. But with that being said, rant's over. You already know who it is. It's your boy Tony the Great, aka Mr. Spooky Poppy, your friendly neighborhood horror guy, even though this video wasn't so friendly. And y'all already know the drill. Hit the like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see me yap again. And for all my day ones and my true supporters, I love y'all. I'm still rocking with y'all. And if y'all want that Stony merch, just let me know. Y'all be easy and stay tuned for the next video. I rock with y'all, and I love you.